Good evening, Actives. We'd like to welcome you all to our monthly advisory board call. We have a special guest today. We have Dr. Rish Patel, who's joining us from his office in New Jersey. And we're really excited to have him, especially as you'll be able to see him in Salt Lake City on June 1st, talking about Product X, which some of you have heard about, which is an exciting new product that we're rolling out. But today we have an opportunity to get to know him and welcome him kind of officially to the ACTIVZ family. So Dr. Patel, thanks for joining us today. We're glad to have you.
Hi, David. Thank you.
Well, I think that I'd like first, Doctor, to kind of have you introduce yourself to the ACTIVZ family, to everyone. This is going to be translated into Spanish and into Japanese, so everyone's going to have a chance to get to know you all throughout the world, the ACTIVZ world, that is. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your training, your background, and things like that.
Okay. Well, I'm from New Jersey originally, and I went to college in New Jersey at Rutgers University. I went to medical school in New Jersey at New Jersey Medical School in Newark, New Jersey. I did my internship at the University of Pittsburgh, and I did my residency at Vanderbilt in anesthesiology. And I finished up my training at Columbia Presbyterian, where I stayed on staff after I finished for about 4 years. And since then, I've moved on into private practice, and I mostly do pain management now, interventional pain management.
And so you were actually teaching for a while as you were part of Columbia, is that right?
Yes, I was an assistant professor of anesthesiology at the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Columbia.
Well, I know in previous conversations that you and I have had, we've talked a lot about this interventional pain management. Why is that something that interested you, and what are some of the things that you're seeing in that field of practice?
What interested me about it is alleviating pain with simple procedures in terms of people with excruciating pain, and to be able to do something simple like an epidural injection to alleviate their pain, and also going further into doing percutaneous discectomies to help people. Pain is something that you can get results right away, and that's something that attracted me to it.
Well, I know that when you use the word epidural, a lot of mothers out there remember that gratefully during childbirth. My own daughter just gave birth to our 4th grandchild last week, and I know she was appreciative of the anesthesiologist who was there to help her get through that as well. Thank you. And our own Megan Holt just had another little one, and she also can speak to that. So I know there's a lot of people that, whether it be something that is going to be of limited duration, like delivering a baby, or even more importantly, for those who are in chronic pain because of an accident or something like that, this idea of dealing with their pain and helping them deal with it is really an important issue, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is.
Okay, well, I was going to go down that route a little bit further. We've asked you to participate with us on our advisory board for a number of reasons, one of which was because of your specialty and also just being a doctor generally, and being able to speak to the science behind our products. But why did you, so that we had a very selfish reason in asking you to join our advisory board, but why did you choose to join ACTIVZ both as an advisor on our advisory board and as an investor?
Well, I really looked at what you were doing, and I really appreciated the fact that ACTIVZ is involved in trying to better people's life and their health through the type of products that you're generating there, which I think is the long-term future of medicine, is that we will be trying to improve people's lives and reduce chronic disease through these products. And that was very attractive to me.
Do you take the ACTIVZ products yourselves?
I absolutely do. I'm currently taking the Link, and I just started taking Product X, and I've been applying the serum and the toner, and I couldn't be happier with the results I've been getting so far.
Well, I know you've told me a little bit about that, and even though I'm very tempted to ask you about your amaura, your serum and toner story, I'm going to wait and let you tell people about that personally in Salt Lake, because it's a great story as well, and a little bit outside of what your specialty is, but I know you've got a great story there.
Yep. No, I absolutely. It kind of surprised me when
Well, one thing that we're very excited about is our product X. And you've looked at it, you're familiar with the ingredients, and now you're trying it yourself. And so in terms of what people are looking for out there, you have people that are dealing with acute pain because of an injury caused by an accident, an injury caused by sports, an injury caused by chasing grandchildren around or whatever it is, or just gardening. And so you have people that are dealing with that. And commonly, what are some of the things that people turn to, both from the prescriptive and a non-prescriptive standpoint, to deal with those kind of aches and pains that are part of daily life?
Well, generally people start with the over-the-counter remedies, and that tends to include non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication, which is generally, ibuprofen, which is Advil, naproxen, which is naproxen, and they also try Tylenol, which is acetaminophen. They all come with certain side effects. Some people are more sensitive to them than others. And that's where they start. And then if that doesn't work, they generally come into the office, and the prescription products that are available for people to take are generally opioids, which is being used less and less frequently, and also steroids like Depo-Medrol, which is a Medrol dose pack, which is a steroid. But the problem with using those medications is the Medrol dose pack affects the entire body, and generally people gain weight with these products because they are steroids. So I get a lot of pushback on people wanting to take those medications.
So I think we've heard a lot, especially in recent years, about the problems associated with prescription pain relief products like opioids. We hear a lot about the opioid epidemic. We hear about the dangers of steroids. But I think people are less aware, perhaps, of what you alluded to a little bit earlier, with some of the side effects of even the over-the-counter medications. What are some of those side effects that people really have to be concerned about?
Well, with ibuprofen, a lot of people get irritation in their stomach lining, and ultimately, if they take it for a long period of time, they tend to get ulcers from the medication. Same thing with naproxen in varying degrees. And then you have Tylenol, which is acetaminophen, which has shown a higher incidence of liver damage than was previously thought.
Yeah, I've actually been amazed. I went and did some studies or some research into the Centers for Disease Control, and in their records about liver toxicity, emergency room visits, and things like that associated with acetaminophen poisoning. And I'm astounded by the literally hundreds of thousands of cases that are reported of acetaminophen poisoning. And then these other things with damage to the stomach lining. I guess on the one hand, because of the powerful effect that Link has in repairing the stomach lining, maybe we shouldn't introduce anything that might solve that problem, because Link is very effective in dealing with those endothelial cells. But we have come up with something that we call Product X, and that you are using yourself and have introduced to patients and friends, and we're really introducing that as an alternative. And so what are your thoughts? And again, without letting the cat out of the bag, because we're going to talk a lot about this in Salt Lake City, but in terms of the need for a natural product that delivers effective pain relief, as a doctor, as a specialist in this area, what's your view as far as the need for this type of product?
Well, I think it's I have a lot of patients who don't like taking medications, and I introduced a few of them to Product X, and they really liked it, and they said it helped. And I've been taking it, And I found that, as you know, I'm an avid golfer, and I take a lot of ibuprofen when I play golf. I used to. But with Product X now, I've noticed that I don't need to take the amount of ibuprofen that I've had to take in the past, and it feels good. And I don't have the same soreness the next day that I do after, going and playing 36 holes in a day.
Well, that's great. I think I should add for everyone's benefit, excuse me, that not only are you an avid golfer, you're also a very good golfer. And so a lot of us are avid and enjoy the game, but we're not very good. And I wonder if we could tell people that Product X will not only take the pain away from their body, but the pain away from their golf game and make them better. Then I think we'd definitely have a blockbuster product on our hands. But we're going to be careful about that. We're going to be careful about that claim, because I'm not sure that we can guarantee that anybody's golf scores are going to go down by taking it. But if we can deal with the pain and the aches that come with after spending Saturday or Sunday out on the golf course, and then dealing with that on Monday morning, I think that's a great benefit in and of itself.
Yeah, and what excites me about this product even more is that if it's doing that for activity levels, I just wonder how good it's probably performing in the body, taking away inflammation and things like that you don't see visually or that you feel, but inside it could be doing wonders for you that can't be noticed on a day-to-day basis.
Well, actually, let's talk a little bit more about that, because we all know about acute pain that comes from an injury or a strain or something like that. But increasingly, scientists and doctors are talking about the dangers of just what you mentioned, this low-grade inflammation or this silent inflammation. Tell us a little bit more about why that's so problematic, that type of inflammation that we might not even be noticing in our bodies.
Well, generally, most disease is caused by inflammation, chronic inflammation. For instance, cancers. Cancers generally start growing because the inflammatory process is not well regulated, and it just chronically goes on, and then you start developing cancers. Rheumatoid arthritis, another one where inflammation that's not well regulated in the body leads to chronic disease. Osteoarthritis is another one where it starts with inflammation and it keeps going, and eventually you develop, osteoarthritis in your hands or your knees or wherever. So a lot of the body, the chronic diseases are caused by inflammation. And even regarding heart disease, where you get inflammation in your arteries that lead to deposits of platelets and causes narrowing. There's so many ways that inflammation can harm you.
And it sounds like that we are sometimes causing that inflammation in ways that we're not even aware of. Is that right? What are some of the things that are causing that low-grade inflammation?
Well, there's a lot of, with the food you eat, it's usually the oxidation process, and there's free radicals in the body that can cause inflammation in these cells. There's also lifestyle choices with people smoking, alcohol. There's so many things that in your lifestyle that you could be doing that can cause these things as well.
So some of the things, like the choices that we're making are contributing to this chronic, dangerous inflammation. So I guess the whole thing about ACTIVZ that we like to talk about are controlling the things that we can control. So we can stop eating as much processed foods as we do. We can avoid things that would otherwise cause inflammation. And importantly now, we can take Product X to also help alleviate that chronic low-grade inflammation.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to see what the long-term benefits of Product X are going to be. I think it's a tremendous product.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I actually really wish, I'm very tempted to start talking in more detail about it. You and I have had a lot of talks about it, and I'm looking forward to your presentation. I'm getting ready to go to Japan in about 2 weeks for a meeting over there, and we're going to be, unfortunately, you're not able to go with us on that trip. I hope you can in the future, but we are very excited about sharing the presentation that you are preparing for Salt Lake City with our distributors and customers in Japan, as well as in Mexico the following week after Salt Lake. And so what can the people who are coming to Salt Lake look forward to as part of your presentation without giving it away too much? Maybe you can talk a little bit, tease them about what you're going to be mentioning in regards to Product X.
Well, Product X actually goes back centuries and was used by people in the Indus Valley civilization. I'll leave it at that, so I'm not giving away, but I'm sure some people will get an idea of what I'm getting at. And the fact that it's found in a lot of foods, and but the problem with eating it in the foods is it doesn't get converted to the active metabolite that we need. And so Product X is perfect because it's already there for the body to absorb. The bioavailability of the product, which means when you take it, how much of it gets into circulation. Well, Product X will get into the circulation, and that's essential for it to be effective. And that's what I'm hoping to let people know when I do my presentation.
That's great. I think you have a real future in show business, giving these teasers out there and getting people's interest up without giving away too much. That's perfect. Well, Dr. Patel, it is a pleasure to have had you with us tonight on this advisory board call. I know that I'm sure you piqued a lot of people's interest in Product X. We are going to be making it available for people to pre-order prior to the event in Salt Lake City, so they can look forward to that. And it's also going to be available for people in Mexico City at that event. And so we're looking forward to a lot of excitement. Look, I'm sure that you can anticipate a lot of people hanging on to every word that you say in Salt Lake City about the science behind Product X and about the benefits that they can expect. And I'm sure that you'll probably get treated kind of like a movie star when you're out there. People are going to want to have pictures taken and things like that. And so look forward to that. I think it's going to be a wonderful event. And we look forward to hosting you in Salt Lake City at the beginning of June.
I appreciate it, David. Thank you.
Okay. Talk to you again soon. Thanks, Dr. Patel.
Take care.